Good morning. It's Philip with RTX Honeybees. It's February 19th, 2024. Welcome to my little workshop. Today I'm going to get started, or I have gotten started, on making two-way pallets, migratory two-way pallets. I'm a hobby beekeeper, but I really am envious of beekeepers who can use dollies or forklifts or forks to pick up and move their colonies. I don't have any help. I'm a lone beekeeper, so I want something that I can use a dolly, kind of like William down at Dry Cut Honey has built. I'm planning on making something like that. I also have a small tractor that I can buy forks for if this becomes something that I do quite a bit of. So thank you for coming along, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm building 5 of these pallets. That'll be enough for 10 colonies. These are the rails, 19 and 7/8 inches long. Most of the two-way pallets I've seen have 3 rails, and 2 of the colonies sit on 1 rail. But in my design, I'm actually using 4 of these rails, and that'll become apparent as to the reason I'm doing that as we move along. The first thing that I'm going to do is take these rails and I'm going to cut a notch. It's going to be 1.5 inches deep, and I think about 1 5/8. I'll measure that, a notch on each end like that. And I'm also going to cut a groove, a 1/2 inch groove, on my router table along the bottom right there. Okay, so that's going to be out, and that's going to be out, and there's going to be a 1/2 inch groove here. The 1/2 inch groove is to be able to slide a counting board for mite counts underneath the bottom, and this piece is going to be so this piece here notches in. Let's get the table saw set up and let's get going.
This notch, turns out it needs to be 1 11/16 in this direction and 1.5 inches high.
So I broke the rule that all woodworkers should follow. Once you make your first couple of cuts, or one cut, you should measure to make sure you got it set up right. But I set this up 1/4 inch short. So now I got to go back and recut all these because this is a 1/4 inch. Needs to be another 1/4 this way, or 3/16. But I got it set up correct now, so I got to go back through and recut every one of these. So paying for my mistake. Hi, sorry about that, but my battery was going dead, so I had to get it on the charger, and it's the next day. But I ended up going ahead and making this other cut, so you guys weren't able to see that. I would like to point out that in my video about the regular screen bottom boards I built, Charlie at Path of the Bee suggested that the waste piece that comes out of a cut like this, I should put it on the open side of the blade, not pinned against the fence. That'll keep it from flying back on you. And so I did that. I already knew that, Charlie, but I just had gotten lazy. But I did that, and he's right. It was nice because all the pieces just kind of stacked up on the table saw and didn't go flying. So appreciate him for pointing that out. Also, I'd like to go ahead and plug Charlie's site called Path of the Bee. You just look up Charlie Path of the Bee or whatever, you'll find it. But he does a lot of good builds. Explains everything very well and has a lot of great ideas. So we're going to continue on. The next thing we're going to do is cut a dado into this, and I don't have a dado set for my table saw. I do have a dado set, but it was for an old table saw. These cheap Harbor Freight table saws don't accept a dado set. So what I've got is my new router table. I'm going to show you guys that too. But I did cut, I got it set up and I cut like 3 of these. So we're just cutting, see that? That's where my counting board is going to slide in and sit. I would like to point out that you don't even have to cut this. This is going to sit on some rails that are going to sit on, in my case, blocks, but a lot of people just put them on the ground. That counting board, because this will have a screen on it, literally can sit on the rails. Or if you didn't want to cut that groove in there, you could actually tack on a little ledge here for your counting board to sit. So there's a lot of ways to do that. It'll be more clear as we move through the video. Let me show you guys my router table. This is something I bought at least 6 months ago. It's been in the box. I'd been shopping for that, and Harbor Freight had a really good deal on it, so I went ahead and bought it. I have a, oh, it's buried over here under all this mess, but there's another old Craftsman router table with a Black & Decker router, which has served me well, and I've used it a lot, but it was really hard to adjust. The thing I like about this router table is it's got these little guides that I can set the fence, you know, the distance from the center of the arbor on. Also, you know, nice little handy switch right here rather than having to reach under there where the router is. I want to point out a little tip, quick tip for anybody setting up their own small shop. These wrenches, rather than them getting lost in a drawer, I use a magnet. It's a really powerful magnet, and I leave them right here on the router table. This router table came with a lot of extra pieces, a couple of these little inserts so you can use larger diameter router bits. So I just got another magnet, sticking those there. Came up, you know, these are the inserts that go around the router shaft, whatever you call that thing, blade. I just stuck them in a bag, and then there's this little miter gauge. So I just put this on here. It's hard to do with one hand, and I just let it hold it there like that. So it's all right here with the router table. Nothing gets lost in the drawer. So just a little. I don't like to call myself a pro, but that's a pro tip. This was the magnets I got. Again, Harbor Freight. So shout out to Randy McCaffrey too. Maybe he'll figure out what he's missing out on with the Harbor Freight tools. I have no idea what the durability of this thing's going to be, but time will tell, because I'm going to put it through its paces. Good morning. It's the next day. Let's put together one of these frames. I built a jig out of some just scrap plywood. So what we're going to do is place the frame pieces in there. I'm using 3-inch screws. I'm going to spend a little bit of the family's fortune this morning. So what I'm doing is pre-drilling wherever I have the end of each of these boards so they don't split open. And I'm really excited. My son gave me this for Christmas. So, get to use my new tool. For most people, this would be it for the frame, but I'm going to put a piece in the middle here that's going to make it where I can put 2 5-frame colonies or nukes side by side, so I can run a 2 queen system, or for queen rearing, or for whatever. Just make it a little more versatile. I'm going to use my Craig jig to attach these pieces. There's the base frame. 4 more of these to go. Then we'll put the screens on, or maybe we'll attach the runners to the bottom first. I don't know. We'll see. Probably do those runners last. Alright, it's time to cut the wire. This is 1/8" hardware cloth. I cut the pieces 16 to 20. It works out great because this is 36 inches wide, so I can go 20. And that leaves me a 16-inch piece, so when I come back to this one, I can go 20 this way. So I use nearly 100% of this hardware cloth. Number 10. Let's staple them onto the frames. Okay, that's all 5. It is hot today. This is the hottest day for sure for 2024. But yeah, I think it get up to like 85 degrees or something. I'll have to check that, but it's hot. I'm sweating. First time this year. Well, that's... Tomorrow we will get going on the strips that set the bee space for the box to sit on. So, and we'll also put a strip across the front here, act as a pseudo landing board. See y'all tomorrow. Okay, one of the things I like to do, or I'm going to do on this, is I'm going to come back and put 2 screws in each one of these 3 sides, just so when I'm pulling boxes up, because these are not glued down, they're just stapled through the screen. So rather than these, you know, they'll propylize these to the bottom box. So rather than peeling these off accidentally, I'm going to have a couple of screws to keep those from leaving the bottom. Alright, I just got to do that on 3 more of those, and then we can put the runners on the bottom, and this project will be complete. Okay, through with that step. The only step left is to put the runners on the bottom, and to cut the counting boards that slide in here. I'm going to have to get my migratory lids. I don't know if you guys saw that video or not, but I need to get those in a box and make sure I get those runners in the right place so they interlock with that migratory cover. The what I was going to say. The other thing is, you know, most of the pallets I looked at had clips that held the bottom box straight. I've got some ideas about that, but researching those clips is actually what got me to decide to leave this space in the middle. What you have is W clips and U clips. And U clips hold the boxes tight together. W clips give you a 1/2 inch space between the box. But both of them sit on one runner. And there's pros and cons to each one. The U clips, they say the boxes are touching and there's moisture that gets trapped and it deteriorates the box. The U clips, there's a little gap there that leaves and trash and all that get into, and it ends up deteriorating your shim or your piece that's in the middle because it sits on that. And as I was trying to decide what I was going to do, I was looking at those prices of those clips, and they're, you know, $1.75 each or something like that, which is not terrible. But I could only find them at B supply stores, and those B supply stores weren't near here, so I was going to have to pay shipping on just a handful of clips. And the more I got to looking into other people's pallets, a video that really influenced me was Phil the B-Man's video on his pallets. And he showed some old pallets, and he showed the rod in the middle where all the trash had been building up. And that's when the light came on and said, wait a minute, I don't have to have anything in the middle to catch trash. I can actually open that up. And the reason I opened it up this much, which is 2.5 inches, is because now I can also use my telescoping lids on here. I don't have to shy away from those for this system. If I want to go back to those, I did build some migratory lids because I was already planning on it, but I've got no issue going all the way back to telescoping lids. It still works with my system. It doesn't make this any wider than what will fit. I can fit 2 of these wide on my trailer. I was only going to get 1 wide in between the wheel wells of my truck anyway, so it really didn't affect me in any way that I can think of. But obviously I was committed to screen bottom boards. That's how I managed mites. And I'd almost given up on how to build these until I watched some videos, and I actually went to a seminar out at Nobby by Chris Werner, and he has screen bottoms on four-way pallets, and he runs like 4,000 colonies from Florida up to North Dakota or somewhere. And I said, hell, if he can do that on 4,000 colonies, I can do it on 10. And that got me re-motivated to figure out a way. So somebody's for sure going to point out that I used treated lumber on these shim pieces. Yes, I did. And the bees will be exposed to 3/8 of an inch all the way on these 3 sides. This piece in the middle is not, it's just regular pine. But yeah, these pieces, there is going to be a little bit of contact between the bees and treated lumber. So we'll see how that goes. I think it'll be fine. All right, when I come back in the morning, we're going to put the runners on. I've already got them cut. I've decided to go with 2x4 runners for a couple of reasons. One is they were the same price as the 1x4 runners. Also, I believe that I'm going to set these up on concrete blocks. And if I didn't put this thickness, I would probably have to put 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3. But I think when I put these runners, 2 of these runners on there, I'll only have to do blocks on each end, and it'll span between those blocks quite easily. So we got 10 of these to put on tomorrow morning, and And then we're gonna play around with some ideas for how to clip this down. I've got something I want to show you guys, but that's gonna be at the very end of the video. We'll see you guys in the morning. Well, good morning. I set up the boxes and the tops, and I determined that this runner needs to be set back 3/4 of an inch on each end. So I've gone ahead and marked these, and I'll go ahead and get to attaching them. I'm countersinking the holes. I have the migratory covers right here, so yeah, so it's right down in there. Just about a 1/4 inch of play there. Let me see if I can show you guys a little better. There we go. All right, yeah. Watch it right down in. For all practical purposes, we're finished, but if you'll hold on a little bit, I'll show you something that I'm going to just try to play around with. I always like to add my own little signature to things. Earlier also in the video, I told you I was going to spend some of the family's fortune. I don't know if you guys caught on to that, but if you bought a 5-pound box of screws lately, no, 10-pound box of screws. Sorry, not 5, 10. You'll know what I mean. Very expensive. So I was talking to you about the W clips earlier. The W's and the U's. And I think I was watching William at Dry Cut Honey's video, and he mentioned something about how the old timers used to maybe use a nail for that purpose to keep that box from sliding. So that got me to thinking, now that I'm separated, maybe I could try the same thing. So what I've got is these finish nails. I'm just going to tap these in, see if that works. I'm coming back 5 inches off the front because I don't want it to interfere with the pallets stacking. We'll put this in as close to that edge as I can, maybe with a slight inward tilt to it. And I don't want it to stick up more than about 1 inch. Once again, so the pallet can stack. I got my little square here, speed square, set to 5 inches. Let's just see if this works. So I can tap it straight in, and then I can give it a little tap in if I need to. Doesn't really matter exactly where on that. It's not going to affect. Actually, no, you know what? that one right there will affect my pallet stacking. Phooey. So what if I put one here? And I guess we're not going to be able to adjust them front to back. We'll see if that works. Take us a box, set it on here. Well, looky there. It works. Show you guys what I got here. Got those nails helping guide my box into place. Don't have it adjusted front to back. Boy, I sure would like to be able to do it front to back, but if I do that, then my pallet's not going to stack because I'm 3/4 of an inch back. I could almost do it on just the back edge. Yeah, let's just try it, and I'll throw a pallet up there and see what happens. I can't just sling these around, but in theory that runner should slide right through there. Let's see. Yeah, this is gonna be, these pallets are heavy, so let's put it right against this one. Yeah, that works. Clearance for all the nails. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put these little nails in there to act as clips. All right, looks like it's working okay. It's finally warming up. I can take this old hat off here. Let's go ahead and close this one out. First of all, my next video is going to be on building boxes. I got to build about 24 boxes at least. And also, just wanted to just briefly touch base on, this build. Obviously, this is not a commercial pallet. Commercial guys have to watch every hour, every piece of material. Everything's got to be scalable. They can't afford to spend a whole lot of time customizing things. They want everything to be the same, obviously. But what I think the great thing about beekeeping is sideliners and hobbyists can borrow things from the commercial industry and improve the way we do business, make things easier for us. Maybe if we decide to go commercial, we're part the way there. But I've really enjoyed this. And my favorite thing about this project is I don't have to paint it. It's Philip with RTX Honeybees. Thank you all for watching.